Hey everybody, episode 1, your host, George Cram, of the PatientPod. So this episode, what I really want to walk you guys through is, what is PatientPartner? What does the technology look like? How does it work? How do patients hear about it? And ultimately, what does their engagements look like on their platform? And so I'll be covering all of those, but truthfully, where I'd love to start is really kind of giving you a background. It's like, hey, how did this company even start? It's a very unique product. And so understanding kind of a little bit of my background and my history will really understand why I built this business in the first place. And so, like I said in the earlier episodes, I was a rep prior to starting this business. And I'm sure you guys are very familiar with this, but as a rep, I was like an insider in healthcare. Anytime I got sick or my kids got sick, we never had to go to a doctor. I had 200 personal cell phone numbers in my phone. And so anytime my kids got sick or I got sick, I just had to FaceTime somebody. That's all it was. But around 4 or 5 years ago, after our second kid, sadly, my wife was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And I'll never forget that meeting with the oncologist. The oncologist is such a strange guy. He walks into the room. He's like, hey, I got good news and bad news. Bad news, yes, the results came back. It's thyroid cancer. But good news, hey, it's thyroid cancer. It's like the most treatable cancer you could have. And he laid out 9 options. What treatment option do you want to do? And I remember looking at my wife, and my wife's crying. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to support her. And I look at the doctor, Doc, I don't know, man. You tell me. That's why we're here. What is their best option here? And I'll never forget, 2 or 3 days after that meeting with the oncologist, I got called into the clinic one day with one of my doctors. And he's like, George, can you explain to this patient what a knee replacement is? I'm like, yeah. I'm walking this patient through it. And the patient stops and he looks at the doc, goes, Doc, I'm absolutely terrified of having this procedure. And what would be really helpful is, do you have a past knee replacement patient that I can connect with? And I remember sitting in that stupid little swiggly chair, that circle one. And I'm like, that's what I need right now. So I left, I called the oncologist. I'm like, hey, is there another mom that went through the same treatment that my wife's thinking about going through? And could we talk to her? And he did. He was able to make that connection for us. And it was absolutely life-changing, not only for my wife, but just for my family. And it gave me this conviction of this needs to be normalized. And so a handful of months later, I basically quit my job and decided to build it. And so what PatientPartner is in a nutshell is we built a patient connectivity platform in which we help patients go through a variety of different health journeys by simply connecting to another patient who looks very similar to them, who's already been through that journey. And so all of the interactions happen within our product, within our platform. But let's say first question I always get is, how do patients even hear about this? And so that's a lot of the reason why I'm building this podcast, is because a lot of it's driven behind getting in front of your customers and helping your physicians bring awareness to this technology, to this product. But for the most part, a lot of it's driven through a lot of companies we work with, they have a direct to patient arm, whether it's, through digital media buying or, hosting events, things like that. The second is working with the sales teams and using hard marketing material. So I'm sure your marketing team will give you guys some sort of brochures or handouts, and I'll be covering that in another episode on how to utilize those. But ultimately, having your physicians put this in front of prospective patients saying, hey, company X, Y, and Z has this free tool, which you can connect with somebody. It can really understand what it's like to go through this treatment. And then the third is really tap it into whatever patient networks you guys have today, whether it's to your hub, access, anything like that. We can also address and bring this to the forefront there. But it doesn't matter if they scan the QR code on the brochure, click a link on a website, whatever it is, they'll get taken to basically a cross-branded landing page for your product. And what happens on that landing page is really talks about the benefits of what this person can get by talking with a mentor. And the first thing they can do is they have to click let's begin, and it takes them to a questionnaire. That questionnaire is pretty lengthy in nature. On average, it's around 15 to 18 questions long. And what we do is we try to pillarize questions into 3 categories. The first category is we ask standard healthcare questions: symptoms, comorbidities, diagnoses, what treatment are you currently on right now? The second pillar is we ask personal questions, things like hobbies, activity level. What sports do you like to play or watch? Are you married? How many kids do you have? And then the third pillar, which ends up being one of the most heavily weighted pillars, is we ask psychological questions. Things like, what are your biggest fears? What are you trying to get back into your life? What have you tried in the past that's been unsuccessful? who, what, or why are you going through this? We want to get down to this motivating factor. Like, okay, what is your hurdle? What is your hesitation or concern? So that we can match that to a mentor that potentially had that same type of hesitation or concern. And so as they go through that and they click submit, they're immediately matched with their mentor. So I get matched with John, let's just say. And I click, yeah, I would love to talk with John. I get put into a one-to-one message chat with John, and it's all on our product with a PatientPartner. And so I'm able to immediately send John that first message. What happens on John's end, John basically gets pinged on his phone through an SMS saying, hey, it's PatientPartner here. A new person has come in and wants to have a conversation with you. Click the link below to log in so you can respond. So as John clicks the link and responds back to me, same thing happens to me on the patient app. I get a text message. And the reason why I bring this up is that we keep mentor and mentee, their contact information held private. So the only way they could communicate is within the walls of PatientPartner. And that's important. And I'll address that in another episode. But once they have those conversations and start building a relationship with one another, what our technology does is it helps pick up on behavioral cues. And what I mean by that is that we see this happen daily on our product, but as they start talking, I call them like inspirational moments that happen with the prospective patient where they go, drug A or product A, it sounds pretty good. I wonder if it's a good fit for me. Our product picks up on those and we help facilitate the next step in their journey. So we'll prompt that individual and say, hey, there's a doctor, 5 miles of you who has a history of prescribing this drug. Would you like to go see them? Or it's, hey, I noticed that your refill is coming up soon. Do you need assistance in getting that refill? It could be, hey, are you ready to book your treatment or book your procedure? We can help facilitate that. So all of that is done through these one-to-one engagements that create these, motivational and inspirational moments with these patients. We help capitalize on those. So you as a rep are probably thinking, that could probably help me. Imagine all the patients in your area who have these, it's very natural to have hesitations and concerns. I mean, healthcare is scary. But help them by connecting with somebody. And when you get that connection, it helps lead to them going, hey, maybe this is a good move for me. Maybe this is a smart choice for me. And then our product helps facilitate that and gets them to where they need to go. All of which results back to you. You're the person that brought that in front of them. They would have never had access to it unless you are the one who actually got your customer to go, I really like this. Yeah, I'm going to put this in front of more patients. And so that's why this is important. And so anyways, the next episode what we'll be covering is how do I pitch this in front of the doctor? If I get some FaceTime with one of my customers and I want to bring this up, how can I have confidence in doing that and knowing what are the things that I should talk about, right? What's important to a physician? All of which will be covered on episode 2. All right, till then, see you next time.